Reproduction. Introduction. Reproduction is necessary life process for continuation of life by the production of offspring. The time required to reproduce varies from organism to organism. Even within the organism, there could be certain environmental conditions that would make faster the process of reproduction. A sexual mode of reproduction. A sexual reproduction involving a single parent without involving gametes. These are known as asexual modes of reproduction. Organisms can reproduce asexually in many ways. Fission. Single-celled organisms such as paramecium and bacteria reproduce by splitting into two or more offsprings. Budding. A growth on the body as a bud that grows to forms nearly identical copy of parent. Example: yeast. Fragmentation. New individual growth from a separate piece of parent organism. For example, some flatworms, moles, leeches, Spirogyra, etc. Parthenogenesis. Nowadays, we are able to develop seedless fruits like watermelon, grapes, etc. This is a process of reproduction where there is shift from sexual to asexual mode of reproduction. In this process, generally the female gametes develop into zygote without fertilization. Regeneration. Many organisms have the ability to give rise to new individual organisms from their body parts. For example, hydra, flatworm. Vegetative propagation. In higher plants, vegetative propagation may be natural or artificial. Natural propagation. Leaves. In biophyllum, small plants grow at the edge of leaves. Stems. Aerial weak stems like runners and stolons, when they touch the ground, give off adventitious root. When the connection with the parent plant is broken, the stem portion with the adventitious roots develops into an independent plant. Some examples for propagation by stem are from stolons, bulbs, corms, tuber, etc. Stolons. Vallisneria, strawberry, bulbs, allium cepa or onion, corms, colocasia, tuber, potato. Roots. Roots of dahlia, radish, carrot, etc. grow as new plants. Artificial propagation. Cutting. Some plants grow individually when a piece of a parent plant having bud is cut from the existing plant. Example: rose, sugarcane. Layering. A branch of the plant with at least one node is bent towards the ground and a part of it is covered with moist soil, leaving the tip of the branch exposed above the ground. After some time, new roots develop from the part of the branch buried in the soil. For example, nerium, guava, orange. Grafting. Two plants are joined together in such a way that two stems join and grow as a single plant. For example, mango, citrus, apple, rose. Spore formation. Rhizopus produces hundreds of microscopic reproductive units called spores. When the spore case bursts, the spores spreads into air. These airborne spores land on food or soil under favorable conditions like damp and warm conditions. They germinate and produce new individuals. Most of the fungi like Rhizopus, Musser, etc. Bacteria and non-flowering plants such as ferns and mosses reproduce by the method of spore formation. Sporophyll. Ferns plants also produce spores. Collect a fern leaf which is called sporophyll. Observe the leaf carefully. On the lower surface of the leaf, you find clusters of dot-like structures called sporangia. These contain spores. Sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction is a way of reproduction where fusion of gametes takes place by a process called fertilization. Fertilization may occur either outside the body of the mother or inside the mother's body. External fertilization is most common in aquatic animals like most fishes and amphibians. Reproduction of a placental mammal, man. While talking about mammals, especially human beings, special reproductive organs have been developed in males and females to carry out reproduction. Male reproductive system. In human males, the two tests are located in pocket-like structure outside the body wall called the scrotum. Each test has several lobules and each lobule contains several seminiferous tubules. They are small, highly coiled tubes and 80 cm in length. Vas effrontia collect spermatozoa from the tubules. Female reproductive system. The two ovaries where ova are formed are located deep in the abdomen of female's body. The ova develop in tiny cellular structures called follicles, which at first look like cellular bubbles in the ovary. They are called Graafian follicles. As a follicle grows, it develops a cavity filled with fluid. Each follicle contains a single ovum, which is formed after the process of cell division. When an ovum is mature, the follicle ruptures at the surface of the ovary and the tiny ovum is flushed out. This release of the egg or ovum is called ovulation. Generally, the ovum enters the widened funnel of an oviduct, a tube that extends from the neighborhood of an ovary to the muscular, thick-walled uterus. Fertilization occurs as the ovum passes through the oviduct, thus begins a new life. Fertilization with sperm would be lead to for attain of a mass that might grow to form a baby. The fertilized ovum undergoes division. As it moves down the oviduct and finally attaches the soft tissues of the uterus. Once attached, the entry sinks into the soft inner uterine wall. Then certain cells of the embryo develop into membranous structures that help to nourish, protect and support the developing embryo. During the development of the embryo, tiny finger-like projections grow from the surface of the outer membranes called chorion into the soft tissues of the uterus. Gradually, small pools of rapidly moving blood around these finger-like projections in the uterine wall. These tissues of the chorion and the adjacent part of the uterine tissue make up the placenta. Placenta is a tissue formed by the cells from the embryo and mother. It is formed around 12 weeks of pregnancy and becomes an important structure for nourishment of the embryo. Thus, the embryo develops until it is ready to be born. From the 3 months of pregnancy of embryo is called foetus. Pregnancy lasts on average 9 months or 280 days. This period is called gestation period. Childbirth. As pregnancy progresses, the foetus of an embryo with certain characters grows and the uterus increases in diameter. Usually at about the 9th month after fertilization, the head of the foetus is turned down toward the opening of the uterus. At birth, the head usually comes out first. Sometimes the feet comes first. This makes the delivery more difficult. Childbirth begins with the muscle layers of the uterus start to a rhythmic contact and relax. These actions are felt as labor pains. At first, muscular activity of the uterus is just strong enough to move the baby slowly toward the vagina, the outer canal of the female reproductive tract. Generally, at this stage, the sac around the baby breaks and its fluid contents are released. This is a good sign that labor is well on its way. Then, the contractions of the muscles become stronger and more frequent, and the baby is pushed through the vagina and into the outer world. The umbilical cord leading from the baby to the placenta is tied off and caught by the doctor. After the birth of the baby, the muscular contractions of the uterus continue until they push out the tissues of the placenta, which are commonly called the afterbirth. During the last part of the pregnancy, lymph-like fluid called colostrum accumulates in the mammary glands, which have gradually been enlarging and undergoing a transformation. For the first few days after the baby is born, the mammary glands secrete only colostrum. It is very important to feed this to the newborn baby. It helps in developing the immunity system of the child. Flower, the reproductive part. The reproductive parts of the flower, which possess the sex cells or germ cells, are called stamens and carpels. Flowers having both stamen and carpel are bisexual like datura. Stamens produce male sex cells in the pollen grain. Carpels produce female sex cells in ovules inside ovaries. The plants having flowers where male reproductive cells of stamen of the flower fertilize the female reproductive cell of the carpel of the same flower is called self-pollination. Cell division and continuation of life. Continuation of life starts from cells, either those of the general body or the sex cells, which show 1821 to 1902. A proponent of cell theory is given the credit for the phrase omnis cellulate cellula, or cells arise from pre-existing cells, indicates the importance of cell division in the creation of new cells. In 1852, a German scientist, Robert Remarque, published his observations on cell division. Based on his observations of embryos, he stated that binary fission of cells was the means of reproduction of animal cells. In 1879, Walther Fleming examined many kinds of animal and plant cells and selected those that showed division. He reported from his observations of such cells that there were string-like structures in the nucleus which split longitudinally during the cell division. He named the process of division as mitosis. His most important discovery was chromosomes appear double in nature. Wilhelm Rox proposed that chromosomes carried a difficult set of heritable elements, and longitudinal splitting observed by Fleming ensured the equal division of these elements. August Weismann, 1834 to 1914, a biologist, hypothesized that number 1. In successive generations, individuals of the same species have the same number of chromosomes. Number 2. In successive cell division, the number of chromosomes always remain constant. The scheme of mitotic division was confirmed in 1904 by Theodor Boveri. The chemical nature of the genetic material was determined after a series of experiments over the next 50 years, culminating in the determination of its structure, the deoxyribonucleic acid DNA, in 1953 by James Watson and Francis Crick. Cell division in human beings. Cell division is a process that transforms a human fertilized egg into a baby in 9 months and into an adult in the next 20 years. Cell division and function in a multicellular organism are highly regulated. It occurs only when there is a need for it. Cell cycle. The process of cell division is named mitosis, which is completed in 40 to 60 minutes. The period between two cell divisions is called interphase. Interphase can be divided into three phases. To understand the functional relationship between these phases, Pottu Rao and Johnson conducted some experiments using the cell fusion technique. With this cell fusion technique, Johnson and Rao revealed for the first time the structure of interphase chromosomes that are not ordinarily visible under the microscope. Different stages of meiotic cell division. Division of cytoplasm is called cytokinesis, which finally brings about formation of two daughter cells. While observing cells in tissues undergoing division, it is not easy to differentiate different stages of division. Prophase. Number 1. Chromosomes contact, spiral and become visible even in light microscope, and nucleus becomes smaller. Number 2. Chromosomes split lengthwise to form chromatids connected by centromeres. Number 3. Nuclear membranes breaks down. Number 4. Centrosome containing rod-like centrioles divides ends of spindle. Metaphase. Number 1. Chromosomes move to spindle equator, centromeres attached to spindle fibers. Number 2. Centromeres split, separating the chromatids. Number 3. Anaphase. Spindle fibers attached to centromeres contract, pulling chromatids towards poles. Telophase. Chromatids elongate, become indivisible. Number 2. Nuclear membranes form round daughter nuclei. Number 3. Cell membranes pinches into form daughter cells, or new cell wall material becomes laid down across spindle equator. Number 4. Nucleus divides into two and division of cytoplasm starts. Process of unlike mitosis, which is a continuous process for division in most cells, meiosis occurs only during the formation of gametes for sexual reproduction. Meiosis has two phases. During the first phase of meiosis, the parent cell divides twice, though the chromosomes divide only once. The second phase of meiosis is similar to normal mitosis, but chromosomes do not duplicate. Moreover, the chromosomes are distributed equally to each other. Thus, the four daughter cells have just half the number of chromosomes as the parent cell. These are haploid. Thus, this division is reduction division. Reproductive health. The process of sexual maturation is gradual and takes place while general body growth is still going on. Therefore, some degree of sexual maturation does not necessarily mean that the body or the mind is ready for sexual acts. All of us are under many different kinds of pressures about these issues. In these situations, making right choices is important. Fighting against social ills, teenage motherhood. Childbirth is even more complicated. Understanding it and getting prepared for it needs maturity of the mind and body. Thus, a girl only after 18 years of age can be said to be prepared for the reproduction. Most of the times, this age is also dangerous to the girl. According to the Department of Family Welfare, 21% of teenage mothers die during delivery. So, girls below 18 years of age should not be married. Stop female foeticide. Who knows, today's girl child may become a great scientist, a famous doctor, a top class engineer, a decided administrative officer, a world renowned economist, a wonderful teacher, of an unmatched world leader of tomorrow. Due to reckless female foeticide, the male female child sex ratio is declining at an alarming rate in some sections of our society. Our government has already enacted laws to ban our determination of sex of foetuses. In spite of laws, it is a social responsibility of us to prevent female foeticide. Stop female foeticide. Save the girl child.
మా వీడియో కనుక మీకు నచ్చినట్లయితే లైక్ చేయండి, షేర్ చేయండి. ఇలాంటి మరిన్ని వీడియోస్ కోసం మా ఛానల్ని సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేసుకోవడం మాత్రం మర్చిపోకండి. థ్యాంక్ యూ ఫర్ వాచింగ్.